Welcome to ComfortTV.channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. My name is Faith Kevin. Thank you for joining us this evening. In headlines, President Trump warns Nigeria of possible military action over killings of Christians. Yagi Africa tax Nigerians on engaging their National Assembly representatives. CUPP hails President Tinubu and Senator Umahi for road projects. Doctors blame PHC's ineffectiveness for crowded tertiary hospitals across Nigeria. Northern youth leaders reject calls for APC chairman's resignation. Imo bans Okada riders from Owerri Municipal City. On business, Nigeria's foreign reserves rise by $540.28 million in 2 weeks to $43.17 billion. Nigerian government seeks additional $1 billion loan from World Bank. On the foreign scene, Russia launches new nuclear submarine Kabarov. Israeli airstrike kills 4 in southern Lebanon, violates ceasefire. On sports, Real Madrid entered a bidding war to sign Barcelona forward target, and fit again Onyedika urges confidence ahead of Barcelona showdown. Now the news. President Donald Trump has issued a stern warning that the United States may take strong action against Nigeria over the continued killing of Christians in the country, escalating tensions between the two nations over religious persecution concerns. In a strongly worded post on his social media platform, President Trump declared that the U.S. could consider cutting off financial aid and potentially even deploying military force if the ongoing attacks against Christian communities continue unabated. The warning represents one of the most direct threats the administration has made regarding religious violence in the West African nation. The post comes just one day after the United States officially placed Nigeria on a special watch list, designating it as a country of particular concern for religious freedom violations. These designations reflect growing alarm within the U.S. government about the deteriorating situation for religious minorities, particularly Christians, in Africa's most populous nation. President Trump's warning signals a potential shift in U.S. policy toward Nigeria, which has historically been considered an important strategic partner in West Africa. The threat of aid cuts could have significant implications for Nigeria's economy and security cooperation with the United States, while the mention of possible military intervention marks an unusually aggressive stance on the issue of religious persecution. Meanwhile, the Muslim rights concern Murich has accused the Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) of letting down President Bola Ahmed Tinubu despite what it described as the president's generous consideration for Christians and federal appointments. In a statement, the founder and executive director of Murich, Professor Ishaq Akintola, said the organization criticized what it believes was the role played by some Christian leaders in petitioning U.S. authorities about religious killings in the country. Professor Murich argued that the move was unwarranted, insisting that the picture presented to the U.S. did not reflect the reality in Nigeria. Murich expressed disappointment over CAN's stance, saying the association should have acted more responsibly considering its national influence. Murich insisted that while the U.S. may have its own foreign policy interests at play, some Nigerians contributed to the decision by supplying what it described as misleading narratives to American authorities. A civil society organization, Yagi Africa, has reiterated the need for Nigerians to engage constructively with their National Assembly representatives. Yagi Africa made the suggestion at a sensitization event for Ikotekpene constituents of Akwa Ibom, outlining proper ways to engage their representatives constructively to ensure that the dividends of democracy reach the people. Speaking during the sensitization, the program officer at Yagi Africa, Mr. Olaniyon Sanusi, said the People's Assembly aims to promote public deliberations on what their representatives are doing in the National Assembly and how it affects their constituents. Mr. Sanusi said the People's Assembly was organized by Yagi Africa in collaboration with the European Union for constituents in SCM Udim, Ikotekpene and Obotakara of the Ikotekpene Federal Constituency. He said the People's Assembly served as a model for citizens' engagement in governance, promoting transparency and accountability, and empowered citizens to demand better governance, ensuring that lawmakers prioritize their need. The program officer tasked the constituents in Akwa Ibom to ensure social accountability and responsive governance. He said Yagi Africa called for active and sustained participation participation in the governance process. Hence the meeting that would enable it to articulate the needs of its constituents and present them to the legislators for action. Mr. Sanusi added that the People's Assembly would promote information sharing and inspire confidence in democracy, as the people will speak with one voice on the community's needs. He called on citizens to meet regularly, deliberate on the community's common issues, make resolutions, and present them to their representatives. The coalition of united political parties has commended President Bola Tinubu for what it described as impressive progress in road infrastructure across the country, urging the federal government to maintain the same level of commitment and consistency. The coalition made the commendation in a press release titled, signed by its national spokesperson, Mr. Mark Adebayo. The release noted that the commendation followed an independent inspection of several road projects, including the Abuja-Lokoja-Benin Road. According to the statement, members of the CUPP Steering Committee embarked on the tour to independently assess federal projects and verify the government's claims on infrastructure delivery. The CUPP described Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi, as one of the administration's most hardworking cabinet members, commending his field-oriented approach. CUPP members said their field findings revealed that contractors were fully mobilized on several key projects, including the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Expressway, Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, Benin-Shagamu-Ore Road, Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, and the Abuja-Lokoja-Benin Road, which is undergoing dualization using concrete technology. The coalition, however, cautioned security agencies against harassing citizens who monitor government projects, noting that public observation of such activities serves as an important feedback mechanism. Healthcare practitioners have blamed the ineffectiveness of primary healthcare centers (PHCs) for patients crowding secondary and tertiary health institutions in their quest for healthcare services. According to them, the situation is the primary cause of the persistent lack of bed spaces in secondary, tertiary health facilities across the country. Speaking to the Dean Faculty of Healthcare Services of the Federal University of Allied Health Sciences, Enugu, Dr. Libinus Abonyi underscored the need to strengthen the PHCs in the country for optimal performance. Dr. Abonyi, also an associate professor of medical radiography, medical imaging, lamented that the PHCs were poorly funded, particularly in terms of manpower and facilities equipment. He said that PHCs need not only to be equipped with adequate manpower and resources, but also to be empowered to function 24 hours to accommodate health emergencies that usually occur at night. Dr. Abonyi, who decried the large number of patients seeking health care at secondary and tertiary health facilities, said that the situation has resulted in a persistent lack of bed spaces in the health institutions. According to him, if the PHCs are functioning optimally, a greater percentage of health cases will be handled at that level, such that only 30% of the health cases will be referred to the tertiary health facilities. The Northern Nigeria's Youth Leaders Forum has kicked against demands for the removal of the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC, Professor Netanwi Wilpata. The group says the calls for his resignation are politically motivated and do not represent the views of genuine party members. Speaking in Abuja, the national president of the forum, Mr. Murtala Gamji, dismissed the push for Professor Yiwada to step down. He argued that those behind the demand are not acting in the interest of the APC or its supporters across the country. Last week, another group known as the All Progressives Congress Youth Solidarity Network APC-YSN, led by Comrade Danesi Momo Prince, issued a 2-week ultimatum to the APC chairman to resign. They claimed the party chairman had failed in leadership and accused him of weakening the party's popularity, adding that this could affect President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's chances in the 2027 election. But reacting, the Northern Forum strongly condemned the move and questioned the integrity and motive of those pushing the resignation agenda, describing them as individuals with questionable political identity and loyalty. The forum also rejected calls for President Tinubu to probe the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, describing such efforts as harmful to national interest. It insisted that the individuals behind such campaigns do not mean well for the country. The Imo State government has issued a ban on commercial bike riders, popularly known as Okada, from operating within Owerri Municipal City effective November 8, 2025. Special Advisor to the Governor on Monitoring and Compliance, Mr. Chinasa Nwaneri, who signed the notice, said the ban is aimed at curbing rising criminal activities posed by Okada riders to the safety and security of citizens within the municipality. He said the state government had given a 7-day notice to all commercial bike riders from November 1 to November 7, 2025 to cease operating within the Owerri municipal city. He disclosed that enforcement would commence on November 8, 2025, and any Okada rider caught plying the streets would have their bike confiscated and face trial by a mobile court. This is Comfort TV, the channel's news. We'll return shortly with business, foreign and sports news. Many thanks for staying tuned. This is Comfort TV, the channel news. On to the world of business. Nigeria's external reserves climbed by $540.28 million in the last 2 weeks of October, rising from $42.63 billion recorded on October 13 to $43.17 billion on October 31, 2025, according to data from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The sustained growth indicates an approximate 1.3% growth over 2 weeks and a 1.8% increase month-on-month from $42.40 billion at the beginning of October, according to CBN data. The gross reserves recorded consistent daily increases throughout the review period, with the highest level of $43.17 billion attained on October 31 compared to $42.63 billion at the beginning of the period. The liquid portion of the reserves also rose steadily from $41.98 billion on October 13 to $42.55 billion on October 30, an increase of $579.62 million. These improvements suggest enhanced availability of foreign exchange liquidity for trade settlements and monetary operation. Conversely, blocked funds, the portion of reserves tied up in commitments or illiquid instruments, declined slightly from $656.45 million to $618.63 million over the same period. Still on business, the federal government is pursuing another major credit facility from the World Bank as part of efforts to support ongoing economic reforms and stimulate job creation. The plan involves securing $1 billion to further stabilize the economy and encourage private sector growth. The loan request is tied to a new program titled Nigeria's Actions for Investment and Jobs Acceleration, and the World Bank has set December 16 as the tentative date for approval. According to official documents, the proposed facility will be split in 2 equal parts, a $500 million IDA credit and a $500 million IBRD loan. The package is designed to strengthen macroeconomic reforms, boost access to finance, deepen digital and capital markets, and support private investment across key sectors. Government officials say these measures have improved investor sentiment and narrowed fiscal pressures. The loan, once approved, will be implemented through the Federal Ministry of Finance. It forms part of the government's wider financing plan to transition from economic stabilization to sustained broad-based growth. Onto the foreign scene, Russia has officially launched its newest nuclear-powered submarine, Khabarovsk, at the Sevmash shipyard in the northern port city of Severodvinsk, marking a major step in the country's ongoing efforts to modernize its naval fleet. Defense Minister Andrei Belousov, who presided over the launch ceremony, described the heavy missile submarine as a significant boost to Russia's maritime defense capability. He said the vessel will play a crucial role in enhancing national security and safeguarding Russia's strategic interests across the world's oceans. According to the Defense Ministry, Khabarovsk is equipped with advanced navigation, stealth, and weapons system designed to operate undetected in deep waters for extended missions. The submarine will soon begin a series of rigorous sea trials to test its performance and combat readiness before being formally commissioned into service. Still on the foreign scene, an Israeli airstrike on southern Lebanon killed 4 people and injured 3 others, violating a ceasefire agreement. The Israeli drone hit a vehicle on the Doha-Kaffaman road in the Nabatea district, the official said. The targeted vehicle was completely destroyed and 4 people inside were killed. 2 others on a passing motorcycle were also injured. The Israeli strike also shattered the windows of thousands of homes across Doha, a predominantly residential area. For its part, the Israeli army confirmed the attack, claiming that it had targeted Hezbollah officers. Tension has mounted along the Lebanese-Israeli border in recent weeks, with Tel Aviv intensifying airstrikes in southern towns despite the ceasefire that has been in place since November 2024. Under the ceasefire, the Israeli army was supposed to withdraw from southern Lebanon this January, but it only partially pulled out and continues to maintain a military presence at 5 border outposts. Onto the world of sports, Real Madrid have now entered the race to sign Levante's informed striker Ayong, a player who is also on Barcelona's radar ahead of the next transfer window. The 22-year-old forward has been one of the standout performers in La Liga this season, recording 6 goals and 3 assists in just 10 matches. His explosive start has not gone unnoticed, and both Spanish giants are now watching his progress closely as competition for his signature begins to heat up. The report claims that Real Madrid's director of football, Santiago Solari, has been particularly impressed by Ayong's rise and has personally recommended that the club explore a move. Notably, Solari tried to bring the player into Madrid's youth setup years ago but could not reach an agreement at the time. Now, with Ayong's stock rising rapidly, Solari believes the forward could serve as an important wildcard option for Los Blancos. Meanwhile, several Premier League sides have also expressed interest through Barcelona, though Barcelona continue to hold an advantage thanks to the player's preference. Sources close to the negotiations suggest that Real Madrid's involvement is not seen as a major threat unless they decide to make an exceptionally lucrative financial offer. Still on sports, Super Eagles midfielder Rafael Onyedika has urged his club Bruges teammates to face Barcelona with confidence ahead of Wednesday's UEFA Champions League clash. The 24-year-old is in contention to make the matchday squad after making his comeback from injury in Club Bruges victory over Benjamin Frederick's FCB Dender EH. It was a welcome boost for the Belgian outfit, as Onyedika has been sidelined with a hamstring injury that kept him out for 7 consecutive games and forced him to miss Nigeria's World Cup qualifiers against Lesotho and Benin. Despite the daunting prospect of facing the Spanish giant, Club Brugge can take encouragement from their recent record against La Liga opposition, losing just one of their last 7 encounters and remaining unbeaten in the most recent 4. Reflecting on his return from injury, Onyedika expressed delight at being back on the pitch and shared optimism ahead of the midweek test. Onyedika acknowledged the challenge posed by the Spanish giants, but maintained that fear has no place in his team's mindset. And that's our news bulletin for the evening. But before we go, here is a recap of our top stories. President Trump warns Nigeria of possible military action over killings of Christians. Yaga Africa tax Nigerians on engaging their National Assembly representatives. CUPP hails President Tinubu and Senator Umahi for road projects. Doctors blame PHC's ineffectiveness for crowded tertiary hospitals across Nigeria. Northern youth leaders reject calls for APC chairman's resignation. Imo bans Okada riders from Owerri Municipal City. On business news, Nigeria's foreign reserves rise by $540.28 million in 2 weeks to $43.17 billion. On the foreign scene, Russia launches new nuclear submarine, Khabarovsk. And on sports, Real Madrid enter the bidding war to sign Barcelona forward target. Thank you for watching. For breaking news, exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like and share our videos, subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. My name is Faith Kevin. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected.